we're waiting for Keen, nobody hasn't called him. So, see if
Good morning. This is Chair French convening the regular business meeting of the Kansas Corporation Commission for Thursday, May 15th, joined by my colleague, Commissioner Keither. Commissioner Keen is absent this morning. We do apologize for the brief delay getting the meeting started. On today's agenda, we have a consent agenda consisting of 9 items, and we have 2 noticed items for our consideration. We will begin with our consent agenda. Commissioner Keither, you and I have had the opportunity to review that consent agenda and the 9 items thereon. Let me ask at this time if you have any questions.
No questions, thank you.
And I do not have any questions as well, so I will move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The consent agenda is approved. We will now move to our 2 noticed items. Our first noticed item comes in docket number 25, EKCE 207 PRE, and it is a proposed order on motion to strike proposed supplemental testimony and exhibits. Our presenter for this item is Mr. Brian Fedotin. Go ahead, Brian.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. On May 5th, the Kansas Industrial Consumers Group, or KIC, filed a motion to file supplemental testimony from Michael Gorman, which included 4 exhibits. On May 9th, Evergy Commission staff and Midwest Energy filed a joint response opposing that motion and requesting to strike the proposed supplemental testimony and exhibits because the proposed supplemental testimony and exhibits are beyond the scope of the Commission's limited post-hearing directive, and that some of the exhibits and the testimony could have been filed earlier to allow for cross-examination. This order finds that the Commission doesn't agree that the proposed supplemental testimony and exhibits are beyond the scope of the directive. But the Commission recognizes the proposed supplemental testimony and exhibits were not subject to cross-examination, and therefore, while allowing the testimony and exhibits into the record, the Commission will factor the inability to cross-examine Gorman on his supplemental testimony and exhibits, or the inability to introduce counter evidence when weighing the evidence. With that, I'm available for questions.
All right, thank you, Brian. Are there any questions on this item?
No questions, but thank you, Brian, for your work on this.
And I also have no questions, so I will move approval of the order.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the order as described by Mr. Fedotin. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. We now move to our second noticed item. This is in docket number 25 EKC 207 PRE as well. And this is a proposed order on KIC's motion to file the 2025 Annual Update Integrated Resource Plan as an exhibit. Again, our presenter is Mr. Brian Fedotin.
Yes, thank you. On May 9th, KIC filed a motion to add what we'll call the 2025 IRP into the record as an exhibit. On May 12th, Evergy and Commission staff filed their opposition to the motion, explaining that under KSA 66-1239C2, Evergy's 2024 IRP is the most preferred plan. In this order, the Commission agrees with Evergy and staff's interpretation that the 2024 IRP is the most recent preferred plan as defined by the statute. However, Evergy and staff's argument to exclude the updated IRP from the record is unpersuasive because this proceeding is a major proceeding from the standpoint of future reliability, affordability, and what would be the appropriate resource mix for Evergy customers. Accordingly, the Commission grants KIC's motion to admit the public version of Evergy's 2025 IRP. With that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Brian. Are there any questions on this item, Commissioner Keither?
No questions.
And I have no questions, so I will move approval of the order as described by Mr. Foden. Is there any further discussion?
Yep.
I will make just a quick comment. It relates somewhat to the previous item, but more so to this item. And I want to make clear that this comment does not in any way signal anything about my views of the merits of this case. But I want to make clear that the opposition filings to this additional exhibit were not received well by me. My view is this is a very major proceeding. It's being followed, rightfully so, by a lot of stakeholders throughout the state of Kansas and a lot of residents throughout the state of Kansas. And the primary job of the commission here, because this is a very expensive decision. It's a very long-term decision. Our goal should be to get it right. Our goal should not be to have, the best, most expeditious judicial process. It shouldn't be to minimize disruptive proceedings or inconvenient proceedings. It should be to get all the right evidence and hear everything and make the right decision. No Kansan would be happy to hear that we decided to exclude potentially relevant evidence just because it maybe came late in a proceeding when the decision is this big. So again, I'm not signaling anything at all about what I think about the merits of this case, and we still have more proceedings to go with briefing. But I just want to emphasize the spirit in which we've acted on these two motions today is in getting the right decision and making sure that we have heard all the relevant evidence. And, our focus is not on making sure that our process is perfect. We are a quasi-judicial body, but we are also a quasi-legislative body. And we're making decisions that are going to be long lasting. So the opposition, particularly to this motion, was not well received by me. So with that, we have a motion and a second. If there is no further discussion, I will call the question. All in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. The order is approved. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, commissioners.
With that, we have come to the conclusion of all the items noticed on today's business meeting agenda. If there's nothing further to come before us this morning, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you. Take care.